The encounter in a small, quiet town lived a young man named Ali. He was an ordinary person with simple dreams. Ali loved science and space. His room was full of books about stars, planets, and aliens. One day, his school announced a big science fair. Ali was excited. He had been working hard on his project about space travel. He hoped to show everyone what he had learned. The day of the fair finally arrived. The town hall was filled with students and their projects. Ali wore his favorite, blue shirt. It was old but clean, and he liked it because it had a small patch of a shooting star on the sleeve. He walked around looking at other projects, feeling proud but nervous. Suddenly he noticed a girl standing near the entrance. She was unlike anyone he had ever seen. Her eyes were a strange bright yellow and her hair was silver, shining even under the indoor lights. But what caught Ali's attention most was her strange smell, like fresh rain mixed with something wild and earthy. The girl looked at Ali and smiled softly. Then, without any warning, she stepped closer and sniffed the sleeve of his blue shirt. Ali froze. He had never experienced anything like this before. The girl's eyes widened as she took a deep breath. She looked at him with surprise and something like joy. "Your scent," she whispered. "It belongs to my pack now." Ali blinked in confusion. "Your pack? What do you mean?" The girl's smile grew. "I am Naira. I am from a tribe of alien werewolves. And now you are part of my pack." Ali's heart started beating faster. "Wait. Alien werewolves? Pack? What are you talking about?" Naira's gaze did not waver. "You can't leave. Not anymore. The scent you carry, it connects you to us." Ali took a step back, but Naira's eyes held a strange power like a silent command. His mind raced. Was this a joke? A trick? But her serious face told him otherwise. "Why me?" Ali asked softly. Naira tilted her head. "Because you are special. Something inside you is different. Your blood carries a trace of the stars, a link between your world and ours." Ali didn't understand. "I'm just a normal person from this town. How can that be?" Naira reached out and gently touched his hand. The moment she did, Ali felt a strange warmth flow through his body. It was both strange and comforting. "You don't need to be afraid," she said quietly, "but you also can't walk away from this now. The pack protects those who belong, and now, you belong." Ali looked around. The crowd of people in the hall seemed to fade away. All he could see was Naira and the strange promise in her eyes. "Can I leave?" he asked, trying to sound calm. Naira shook her head. "No, not yet." Ali swallowed hard. His life, which had always been normal and simple, was changing in ways he couldn't understand. As the day passed, Ali found himself thinking about Naira and the mysterious pack. What kind of creatures were they? Why did she choose him? And most importantly, what would happen if he tried to run? That night, as Ali lay in bed, the smell of his blue shirt seemed stronger, almost alive. He could feel eyes watching him from the shadows outside his window. He didn't know it yet, but his adventure had only just begun. The pack's secret Ali woke up the next morning with a heavy feeling in his chest. The memory of Naira's words stayed clear in his mind. "You belong to my pack now." What did that mean? He looked at his blue shirt lying on the chair. Somehow it seemed different now, like it held a secret. At school, Ali tried to focus, but his thoughts kept drifting, back to Naira and her strange yellow eyes. Was she telling the truth? Alien werewolves? A pack? It all sounded like a story from a science fiction book, yet something deep inside him said it was real. After school, Ali walked to the park, hoping to clear his mind. Suddenly, he felt a strong presence behind him. He turned around quickly. It was Naira. "You shouldn't try to ignore this," she said softly but firmly. Ali swallowed his fear. "What do you want from me?" Naira's eyes searched his face. "I want to help you understand. Come with me." Curiosity mixed with fear pushed Ali to follow her. They walked silently to the edge of town. to a forest no one dared enter alone. Trees were tall and dark, their shadows moving with the wind. Ali felt the air change. It was colder but also alive, full of energy he could not explain. Suddenly they stopped at a clearing. In the center stood a huge silver stone, glowing faintly under the moonlight. Ali's eyes widened. "This is our sacred ground," Naira said. "Here the pack gathers." Before Ali could ask more, several figures emerged from the shadows. Like Naira, they had strange eyes, some yellow, some green, and their features were part human, part animal. Their hair shimmered with colors he had never seen before. They moved with grace and power. One of them, taller than the rest, stepped forward. His voice was deep and calm. "Welcome, Ali. We have been waiting for you." Ali's heart pounded. "Waiting for me? Why?" The tall figure smiled slightly. "Because you carry the star blood. It is rare. It connects you to us." Ali felt confused. "Star blood? I don't understand." Naira stepped beside him. "Long ago, our ancestors came from a distant planet. They came here searching for safety. We found this world, and we became the pack, guardians of the secret between stars and Earth." She looked at Ali with warmth. "You have inherited their gift. It is why your scent called me. Your shirt holds the proof." Ali looked at his blue shirt, suddenly feeling its weight on his skin. "But why me? I'm just a normal guy. Why did this happen?" The tall leader spoke again. "Sometimes the universe chooses someone unexpected to protect a great secret. You are that person." Ali's mind raced. Was this a gift or a curse? He had so many questions, but before he could speak, a sudden sound interrupted them. A low growl from the trees. Everyone tensed. Naira's eyes narrowed. "They are here." "Who?" Ali asked, heart beating fast. "The hunters," Naira said grimly. "Enemies from the stars who want to capture our pack and steal the star blood." Ali felt a chill run down his spine. "What will they do to me?" Naira took his hand again, firm and steady. "They want to use you as a weapon. But you are not alone. The pack will protect you." The growling grew louder. Shadows moved quickly between the trees. The pack members gathered close, their bodies shifting, their human features blending with animal ones. Ali felt a strange pull inside him, his heartbeat matching theirs. Suddenly, Naira whispered, "You must trust us. The pack is your family. Now." Ali wanted to run, but his legs were frozen. Then, with a roar that shook the clearing, the pack leapt forward to face the hunters. Ali stood still, watching the battle begin. He didn't know what powers he had yet, but one thing was clear: his life would never be normal again. As the fight raged, Ali felt a strange energy rise inside him. His senses sharpened. He could hear leaves rustle from far away and smell the faintest scent of danger. The pack's leader looked at Ali, shouting over the noise, "Now, Ali, feel the power inside you." Ali closed his eyes, trying to listen. Suddenly, his body began to change. A heat spread from his chest, his muscles tightening and his vision sharpened. When he opened his eyes, everything looked clearer, brighter. His fear was still there, but beneath it was a new feeling: strength. The hunters retreated, growling their defeat for now. Naira smiled softly. "You are awakening. This is just the beginning." Ali looked at her, amazed and scared. "What am I becoming?" Naira's answer was simple but full of meaning. "A member of the pack, and the key to our survival." That night, Ali lay awake, feeling the strange new power inside him. He knew there was no turning back. The pack had chosen him, and the hunters would not stop. But what did this mean for his family, his friends, and the life he once knew? And who exactly were these hunters chasing him? The answers were hidden in the stars, and in his own blood. The awakening the next morning, Ali woke up feeling strange. His body was heavy yet full of energy. His mind was sharper, his senses alive in a way he had never felt before. The ordinary world seemed different, colors brighter, sounds clearer, even the smell of the morning air more intense. Ali sat up and looked at his hands. They felt stronger but also unfamiliar. He touched his face and noticed a slight roughness, like tiny hairs growing. He rubbed his eyes, wondering if he was still dreaming. But everything was real. Memories of the night's battle came rushing back. The pack fighting off the hunters, the rush of power inside him, and Naira's words. "You are awakening." Ali knew something inside him was changing, but he did not understand how or why. He decided to visit Naira. Maybe she could explain what was happening. At the edge of town, near the forest, Ali found her waiting. Her silver hair shone softly under the morning sun and her eyes held a calm strength. "You look different," Naira said, smiling. "I feel different," Ali admitted. "My body, it's changing. What is happening to me?" Naira took a deep breath. "It is the awakening of your true self. The star blood inside you is rising. You are becoming more like us, part human, part something more." Ali frowned. "More like a werewolf?" Naira nodded. "Yes, but not just any werewolf. We are alien werewolves. Our kind has lived on Earth in secret for centuries, protecting the balance between worlds." Ali's mind was full of questions, but one burned, brighter than all. "What about the hunters? Will they come back?" Naira's face darkened. "They will. They want your power. If they capture you, it will mean the end of the pack, and possibly more." Ali swallowed hard. "Then what do? I don't know how to fight or protect anyone." Naira stepped closer. "You don't have to do it alone. The pack will train you. You have strength inside you even if you can't see it yet." Just then a low growl sounded from the forest. Naira's eyes flashed with warning. "We must move. They are coming." Ali's heart pounded as shadows appeared between the trees. This time the hunters were faster and more dangerous. The pack gathered quickly. Ali's body trembled with fear and excitement. Then suddenly he felt a strange pull, his senses sharper, his instincts awake. Before he could think, his hands clenched into fists and his muscles tensed. A deep growl escaped his throat. Naira looked at him with surprise. "Ali, you're starting to shift." The hunters charged forward, but Ali was ready. His body moved with speed and power he never had before. He dodged, jumped, and struck with surprising skill. The pack fought fiercely around him. Ali could feel the strength of his new form, faster, stronger, more alive. After the hunters retreated again, Naira approached him, her eyes full of pride. "You are awakening faster than we expected." Ali was breathless but smiling. "I don't feel like a normal human anymore." Naira laughed softly. "You are not. You are something new, something powerful." That night Ali could not sleep. His mind raced with questions and doubts. What was this pack? Why had they chosen him? And most importantly, what was his place in this new world? Suddenly his phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. "You are not safe. Trust no one outside the pack." Ali's blood ran cold. Who sent this message? A hunter? Or someone else? The next day, Ali tried to live a normal life, but the message haunted him. He noticed strange people watching him at school. Whispers followed him down hallways. His friends seemed distant. He realized his secret was no longer safe. That evening, Naira found him sitting alone by the river. "They are closing in," she said quietly. Ali looked up. "What can I do? How do I fight something I don't understand?" Naira smiled. "You must learn to control your power, to trust the pack, to become who you were meant to be." Ali nodded slowly. The journey ahead was dark and dangerous, but he was not alone. As the moon rose high, Ali felt the power inside him growing stronger. He was no longer just Ali from the small town. He was a part of something greater, a pack, a family, a secret force hidden between worlds. And the hunters would not stop until they had him. But Ali was ready to fight. For the pack, for his life, for the future. Secrets unveiled. The days that followed were a whirlwind for Ali. His life had shifted from normal school routines to secret meetings in the shadows of the forest. Naira and the pack trained him to control his new powers, but the learning was not easy. Ali struggled to understand his strength, his senses, and the strange urges that rose inside him. Sometimes he could hear whispers of the wind calling his name. Sometimes his eyes would glow faintly when the moon was high. One evening, as the pack gathered around the glowing silver stone in the clearing, the tall leader, who called himself Kiran, spoke in a serious voice. Ali, the time has come to reveal the full truth. The pack grew silent, eyes fixed on Ali. Kiran's voice lowered. The hunters are not just enemies. They are our blood enemies. Long ago, when our ancestors came to Earth, a great war began in the stars. Ali listened carefully. Our ancestors escaped to Earth to protect the star blood, power that can change the universe. The hunters want to use it for destruction. Ali felt the weight of those words. And me? What is my role in all this? Kiran looked at him deeply. You are the key to our future. The star blood inside you is pure and strong. It can either save us or doom us. Ali's heart raced. But how do I control it? How do I stop them? Naira stepped forward. You must connect with the pack fully. Your bond with us is the source of your power. Suddenly, a sharp howl broke the night. The hunters had found them again, closer than ever. Chaos erupted. The pack prepared for battle, but Kiran stopped them. Not here. We must protect the secret. Naira grabbed Ali's arm. Come, I will show you something. They ran deeper into the forest until they reached a hidden cave covered in glowing vines. Inside, walls shimmered with ancient symbols and drawings, stories of their ancestors, battles fought, and a prophecy. Naira pointed to a drawing of a star-shaped mark glowing on a human figure's chest. That is you, Ali. The star blood marks you as the chosen one. Ali touched the symbol on the wall, feeling a strange warmth. But what happens if I fail? He whispered. Naira smiled softly. You will not fail. The pack is with you. Suddenly the cave shook. A distant roar echoed. The hunters were coming. Ali's fear grew, but so did his determination. Outside the cave, the pack was ready to defend their home. Ali felt the pack's strength surrounding him like a shield. Naira looked at him with fierce eyes. Remember, the bond is your strength. Trust it. Ali took a deep breath. For the first time, he felt not just scared but powerful. As the hunters burst into the clearing, Ali stepped forward, his eyes glowing bright. A battle unlike any other began. Light against darkness, star blood against shadow. Amidst the chaos, Ali discovered something new. His power was not just physical. It connected him to the pack's minds, their feelings, their strength. He could feel Naira's heartbeat, Kiran's courage, and the hope of every pack member. Together they fought not as individuals, but as one. The hunters retreated once again, but this time Ali knew they would be back, stronger and more dangerous. That night, as the pack gathered to heal and recover, Kiran looked at Ali with respect. You are ready to face what comes next. Ali looked at the glowing silver stone and felt the truth sinking deep into his bones. His life was no longer his own. He was part of something bigger, something ancient. A war was coming, and he was the light in the darkness. But could he protect the pack and himself from the hunters who wanted to destroy everything? The answer was hidden in the stars, and in the power waking inside Ali. The hunter's secret. After the battle, the pack returned to the hidden cave to regroup and heal. Ali felt the weight of the fight pressing down on him, but also a strange excitement. He was learning to trust the power inside him. But the hunters were still out there lurking in the shadows. One quiet night, as Ali practiced controlling his senses by the river, Naira approached him with a serious look. There's something you need to know, she said softly. Ali stopped and looked at her, curious and worried. The hunters. They are not just after our star blood. They want something else. Something dangerous, Naira explained. Ali frowned. What could be more dangerous than our power? Nira hesitated, then took a deep breath. There is a weapon, an ancient device hidden somewhere on Earth. It can control or destroy Starblood. If the hunters find it, they could wipe us out forever. Ali's heart pounded. Where is it? How do we stop them? Naira shook her head. We don't know, but one of the hunters might. Suddenly, a rustle came from the bushes. Both turned quickly, hands ready. A figure stepped out, tall with cold eyes and a scar across his face. I am Jarek, he said in a low voice. I am not your enemy. Ali and Naira exchanged shocked glances. Why should we trust you? Naira asked, stepping protectively in front of Ali. Jarek looked tired. Because I want to stop the hunters too. I was once one of them, but I left when I saw their cruelty. Ali's mind raced. Could this be true? Or was it a trick? Jarek continued. The hunters are divided. Some want the weapon for power. Others want to protect it. But both sides are dangerous. Nira's eyes narrowed. How do we know you're telling the truth? Jarek smiled sadly. Because I have the map. The only way to find the weapon. He pulled out an old, worn parchment covered in strange symbols. Ali felt a strange pull as he looked at it. The symbols seemed to glow faintly under the moonlight. This map will lead us to the weapon's location. But we must hurry. The hunters are closing in. The pack gathered around, tension thick in the air. Trust was hard to come by, but they knew the danger was real. Kieran spoke firmly. We will go together, but Jarek must prove himself. Next days were filled with preparation and training. Ali felt the power inside him growing stronger, but so did the fear. Could they really find and stop the weapon? One night, as Ali lay awake, he heard whispers outside his tent. Peeking out, he saw Naira talking quietly with Jarek. I don't know if we can trust him, she said. Jarek replied, I'm your best chance. Suddenly, footsteps approached. Ali's heart jumped as a shadow moved through the trees. It was a hunter, faster and more ruthless than before. He spotted Ali and charged. Ali barely had time to react. His body moved on instinct. Faster. Stronger. The hunter stumbled and fled. Nira appeared panting. They're getting closer. Ali realized the war was no longer far away. It was at their doorstep. The next morning, the pack set off on their dangerous journey, guided by Jarek's map. The forest seemed alive with secrets and dangers. Every rustle, every shadow made Ali's senses sharper. They crossed rivers, climbed cliffs, and faced strange creatures along the way. But deeper than the dangers outside, Ali felt a storm inside him, a mix of fear, power, and hope. He was no longer just a boy from a small town. He was the key to a battle that could change the universe. As the stars glittered above, Ali looked at the glowing map and whispered, We will find the weapon, and we will stop the hunters. But deep in the darkness, unseen eyes watched their every move. The hunters were closer than ever, and the real battle was about to begin. Betrayal in the pack. The journey was harder than Ali imagined. Every step through the dense forest felt heavier, as if the trees themselves whispered warnings. The pack moved cautiously, eyes sharp and ears tuned to the slightest sound. Jarek led the way with the map, but a shadow of doubt lingered in Ali's mind. Was Jarek truly an ally, or a spy for the hunters? One evening, as the pack set camp near a quiet stream, Ali noticed Naira staring into the fire, lost in thought. Do you trust him? Ali asked softly. Naira's eyes flickered. I want to, but something feels wrong. He knows too much. Sometimes his stories don't add up. Before Ali could answer, a sudden howl pierced the night. The pack instantly tensed. From the darkness, two hunters appeared, moving silently but with deadly intent. The pack rose quickly, weapons ready. But to everyone's shock, Jarek stepped forward, lowering his hands. "Wait," he shouted. "I can stop this." The hunters exchanged wary glances. Then one spoke. "You've betrayed us, Jarek." Nira's eyes widened. "What do you mean?" Jarek looked torn. "I was sent to find the Starblood's key, you, Allie, but I never meant to harm you. I wanted to protect the weapon from falling into the wrong hands." Allie felt a cold chill. "So you're working with the hunters?" "No," Jarek said quickly. "I left that life. But the hunters don't trust me anymore. They want to use me to get closer to you." Suddenly the hunters lunged. The camp erupted into chaos. Allie fought with everything he had learned, but his mind raced with confusion. Could Jarek really be trusted? In the fight, a hunter grabbed Nira, pushing her to the ground. "Run, Allie," she yelled. But Allie froze, heart pounding. He couldn't leave her. With a burst of power, Allie broke free, knocking the hunter away. The pack fought fiercely, and after a tense battle, the hunters retreated, but not without a warning. "We will return," the leader growled, "and next time you won't be so lucky." As the night fell silent, Allie's thoughts were stormy. Jarek sat apart, head bowed. "I am sorry," he whispered. "I wanted to help." Kieran looked at him with hard eyes. "Trust is earned, Jarek." "You will have to prove your loyalty." Allie turned to Nira, who nodded. "We have no choice. The weapon's location is too important." But then, something unexpected happened. Allie's senses sharpened. He smelled something, a faint scent. Of betrayal, but not from Jarek. He looked closer and saw a faint shadow moving near the edge of the camp. His heart skipped. "Someone is spying on us." Kieran's face hardened. "Prepare yourselves. The enemy is closer than we think." The pack set extra guards and tightened their circle. Ali couldn't shake the feeling that the greatest danger wasn't outside, but inside the pack. That night, as the moon rose high, Ali dreamed of stars falling from the sky, each one burning bright, then fading into darkness. He woke with a start. The war was not just for survival, it was a fight for the soul of the Yao, pack, and Ali's destiny, the final choice. The dawn broke cold and gray as the pack prepared for what could be their last stand. The betrayal weighed heavy on Ali's heart. He still wasn't sure who among them could be trusted. The air felt thick with secrets and danger. Jarek was silent, eyes fixed on the horizon. Nira stood close, her gaze fierce but worried. "We must reach the weapon before the hunters do," Kieran said firmly. "This ends today." Ali nodded, feeling the power inside him pulse like never before. His body was stronger, senses sharper, but his mind was clouded with doubt and fear. The journey led them deeper into the mountains, where the map's strange symbols glowed faintly in the twilight. Suddenly, a loud crack echoed through the trees. Ali spun around to see one of their own, Taryn, the quietest member of the pack, running toward them, eyes wide with panic. "They found us," Taryn gasped, "and someone betrayed us." Whispers spread like wildfire. Ali's eyes locked on Jarek, whose face was unreadable. Before anyone could speak, a storm of arrows rained down from the trees. The pack scattered, diving for cover. Ali rolled behind. A large rock, heart hammering. He looked up to see hunters emerging from the shadows, their faces fierce and determined. "Stay together," Kieran shouted, rallying the pack. But Ali's eyes caught a figure moving away from the fight. "Nira! Nira!" he yelled, scrambling after her. He caught her at the edge of a cliff where she stood staring down into a deep chasm. "They've captured the others," she said grimly. "We're running out of time." Ali gritted his teeth. "We have to save them and stop the weapon." Nira nodded. "There's a secret entrance below. The weapon is hidden in a cave beneath the mountain." They climbed down carefully, shadows closing in. Inside the cave, an eerie light pulsed from a pedestal. Ali stepped forward, heart racing. The weapon was unlike anything he had imagined, a glowing crystal swirling with cosmic energy. Suddenly, a voice echoed through the chamber. "You have come far, Starblood," it said, cold and powerful. From the shadows stepped the hunter leader, the one who had led the attacks. I offer. You a choice, he said. Join us and use the weapon's power to rule, or refuse and watch everything you love be destroyed. Ali felt the crystal calling to him, tempting him with power beyond his dreams. But then he saw the faces of his pack, their hope, their trust. He clenched his fists. I choose to protect my pack, Ali said firmly. The hunter laughed. Foolish boy. With a roar, the hunter lunged. Ali grabbed the crystal and felt an explosion of energy surge through him. Light and shadow battled inside, his body transformed, faster, stronger, glowing with the power of the stars. With a mighty shout, Ali struck down the hunter, the crystal's light banishing the darkness. The cave trembled, and the weapon's energy spread, healing and strengthening the pack outside. Naira and the others burst in, their faces shining with relief. Kiran smiled. You did it, Ali. You saved us all. Ali looked at his friends. No longer just humans or aliens, but a true pack. United. The hunters were defeated, but the journey had changed everything. Ali knew the battle was only the beginning. But now, he was ready. For he was not just a boy. He was the guardian of the pack and the power of the stars.